Yes, yes, yes. Magic Mike in that mix. We are popping. We in that mix. We got a platinum producer, right? He's done a lot of projects, and we got like a beat from him. It's called Just Can't, exclusively right here. But until then, we got my man Chuck Platinum, all the way
Yes,
from
yes, sir. New
United
York
States,
City.
New York
Yes, sir.
City. What's pop? I
Yes,
was
sir.
just getting ready for you to just say it, man. Where you from? You from Brooklyn? Brooklyn, New
I'm from
York?
the BX, man. BX,
Bronx,
man.
man. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Founders of hip
Yes, sir.
hop. The founders
Yes,
of
sir.
hip hop. You look like you're
That's
from
right.
Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Just the way
Oh,
you,
I look like
yeah.
I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Shout
you
out
get
to
you get
Brooklyn,
that a
though.
lot? You get that a lot?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
do.
know you
I do.
do. I know you do, right? So you're a platinum producer, right? Also a radio personality. You know what I'm saying, right? You know the world of
Yes, sir.
radio. Are you still doing radio right now?
I still do radio. I do mix shows. I have a internet radio station called Record Breakers Radio.
Okay.
So basically, what I do is I play indie artists. Right now, we're working on a relaunch of that station, and
Okay.
I have a mix show called the Indie Heat Show, which I do on Saturdays, 8 to 10 p.m. I showcase independent artists, and then I have one, the Indie Heat Hour, that's on Crate Runner Radio. Shout out to the Crate Runner DJs. That's on Mondays, 8 to 10. So yeah, I'm still in the mix. Still in the mix,
Of
man.
course, of course. You can never leave that alone. You know what I mean? So
That's right.
my brother here, Chuck Platinum, is driving. Check this out, folks. Look at him.
Driving,
Those
driving.
you
About to
don't.
pull over and do this interview too.
Yeah, he's gonna pull over. You know what I mean, for safety's sake. You know. So
Yes, sir.
we're direct. So you grew up in New York. You know what I mean, the Bronx. So what
Yes, sir.
era? What era did you start listening to hip hop, or did you listen to hip hop from birth?
Nah, I started listening to hip hop. So I was born. I'm a '78 baby. So when I
I'm a
was born,
'77. I was a '77. So we, yeah, yeah. All
yeah.
right.
So we right there. So I
Mm-hmm.
started my hip hop journey started in about '82 when Sucker MCs came out. Run DMC. That was the first record that I had got privy to hip hop, and
Privy to hip hop for me was Fat Boys, the 7 inch, crushing, and then Wipeout on the other side. Before
oh
then,
yeah,
but yeah, that's the official record, original piece of music I've gotten from hip hop. But
right,
my neighbor had a mixtape, LL Cool J, Run DMC back in '84, but purchased the Fat Boys. Yes, the Fat Boys is my peep. Crushing on
right,
one side and Wipeout on the other. So
yes.
when you got into hip hop, I bet you loved the beats. You must have loved the beats over the rhymes though.
I did. I was real young, so when I first heard that Sucker MCs, that you know what I mean, I heard that joint, and then the rhymes. I was like, man, this is something. And then me and my uncle is the one who got me into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my
But
uncle Marcus.
your father was on the turntables though.
My father was on the turntables, but he was more into he got into the early stages of hip hop, but he
Mm-hmm.
was more in like the post disco era. You know what I'm saying? That's like,
Okay.
yeah, that's his
Were
era.
they using the thick turntables? You know what I mean? Really thick, huh? The
Yeah,
first
yeah,
Tech
yeah,
12s, the first
yeah,
techniques, not the Tech 12s, the first techniques. Yes.
yeah, yeah. But he was one of the first people with the 12s though.
Okay, so he was
Definitely, because
scratching and
that's what I
everything
learned
else.
on.
All
Yeah,
right, all right.
yes,
S-
sir.
So, what was the first major project you worked on?
The first major project I worked on was I'm trying to think. Man, that was a while ago. The first major one was AG from Showbiz and AG. Shout out to Digging in the Crates.
Oh,
Um,
wow. You working with Showbiz and AG?
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right, all
Digging
right.
in the Crate, yeah, Digging in the Crates. Those are like my brothers. You know what I'm saying? The only one that I don't know personally is Fat Joe, and rest in peace, Big L. I never got to meet Big L, but
So OC, you know what I mean? Lord Finesse, the list goes
yeah,
on. You
those,
knew all of them. Buck
yeah,
Wild?
those. Yeah,
Yeah,
Buck
yeah.
Wild. Shout out to Buck Wild. He just celebrated a birthday.
Yes, he did.
So
Big
yeah,
ups.
shout out to Buck.
He's
You know
hard
what
to
I mean?
get a
But
hold
yeah.
of, man. I'm trying to get him for an interview for years. He's hard to get a hold
Oh
of.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Buck. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Buck be low key, man. But yeah,
Very
shout
low
out to
key.
DITC,
Hmm.
DITC, AG. He gave me my breaks. I know AG for like 20 something years. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
I just built a relationship with him. So his album Taste of Ambrosia, I actually produced and A&R that album.
All right, all right.
Yeah,
One of
so
his producers up here from Canada, R.I.P. Big Bob Patterson, was doing some work with him, and I managed to engineer a couple tracks. Bob would do a beat, he'd send it to me, and engineer would send it back, you know. But
dope.
I guess that was for like some mixtape or something. So in
Right.
1991, you know, you teamed up with your partner in crime, Prince Newkirk, correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk
Yes,
about you
sir.
and Prince Newkirk's relationship back in 91. It was different times back then, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely a different time. So shout out to my brother Prince Newkirk, man. We formed the group Uptown Nation back then. I wasn't really on no rapping. I'm really my origins, of course, is DJing. But my brother, he was a backup dancer for his uncle. They had a group, rest in peace, my sensei, who taught me how to make beats. Rest in peace, Rick Supreme. They had a group called DVS, which stood for Devastatingly Vicious Sounds. They used to do a lot of local performances around the Bronx, you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
my brother was a dancer for him, and then he started doing the little raps. So
Hmm.
his uncle was a producer, and once he used to bring the demos to my house so I could hear him. And I was like, yo, I caught the bug from there. I was like, yo, you got to take me over to your grandma's house so I could go over there and start rapping for him. And that's what he did. So he loved us, and we formed the group, and the rest is history. We still a group. 30. We just celebrated 33 years on the 19th.
So didn't you and your father start a business, your first business, Part Nuts Entertainment in 1992? How did that
Yeah,
work
yeah,
out? How did that
yeah.
work out?
So yeah, my pops. So me and my pops, like I said, he a DJ. So I was basically when I started showing interest and started showing that I was serious about DJing. He basically took me under his wing. I was carrying crates. I was going to adult parties, carrying crates, learning how to hook up the equipment. Back then everything was analog, so I had to really learn how to
No
put everything
USB
together.
stick. No
Nah,
USB
it
stick.
wasn't no USB, nothing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Back
yeah,
then.
yeah.
So yeah, so me and my pop started Partners Entertainment, and yeah, we still do parties to this day. You know what I'm saying? Now he's more of a sound man. I do most of the DJing, but he does like the sound. Like he does sound. He did sound for Louis Vega, Tony Touch, all of them. Like shout out to my pops. You know what I mean?
All right, all right.
Yeah.
So what are you doing these days? Like what are you
These
doing right
days,
now?
yeah, right now. So right now, I got my label, Ayana Records. I just formed that label back in August of 2024. We got a distribution deal with Empire, and right now I'm just about to launch the record label. I released Beats in the Attic 2 in January, so that was the first project, but I didn't put it through Empire, so it's an Ayana Records release, but it's not an Empire release. I got an Empire release coming up, a rap album called The Warm Up, which drops in either April or the first week in May, and that's going to be the Yana Records Empire debut. So I'm just basically producing, DJing, still doing what I'm doing, still on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Still knocking people over the head. Just doing what I do with this rap game. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course, man. Once hip hop gets you, man, it's hard to get rid of it. You know what I mean? You could be
That's
70
that's a
years old
fact.
and still, doing what you're doing. So
That's a fact.
let's talk about your instrumental. You know what I mean? Like first off, did you start off with an SB 1200 or like a MPC?
I'm sorry. You got to repeat that. I didn't
Did
hear
you
you.
start off with an SP 1200 or MPC with making beats?
Neither, man. I started off back in '92. My man had a Roland M1 keyboard sampler, and
Oh,
he had an Elise sequencer, and that's how I started off. Like really, we didn't even have no MP or nothing like that. No
still like
SP,
you're like the
nothing like
Teddy
that.
Rileys and things of that nature, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah, with
exactly.
the keyboards. All right,
With the
okay,
keyboards,
and
yeah.
doing
So I
hip
started
hop.
off like that. Yep, yep.
All right, so what? You just sequence it, loop it, MIDI it, things of that nature.
Yeah, so we would sample it, we would speed up the samples because it was very little sample time, and
Mm-hmm.
we would
Mm-hmm.
speed up the samples, and then we would put it through the sequencer. But it's crazy because we didn't know how to program the sequencer to like make it in song form. So my man used to play the shit live, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
without bars, yeah. So
Okay.
that's how I learned how to do it manually. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Better
sir.
do it live, man. It's the only way.
That's right. That's a fact.
What's your social media? How can they get a hold of you? What's your social media?
Yeah, everything Chuck Platinum. You know what I'm saying? Everything is Chuck Platinum. You could Google me, Chuck Platinum. If you Google me, my knowledge panel will come up. All my songs, videos, everything will come up. All my social media, Instagram, everything's Chuck Platinum. We all branded. You know what I mean? So you could reach out, and if you following me, you can follow me. I follow back. I'm not Hollywood like that. I follow people back. So yeah,
You don't got somebody watching your social media for you.
nah.
You don't got
My
the
social
wife. You don't got
media.
the wife watching it for you. You know.
Nah,
Yeah.
hell no, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, but some of the stars they do got their wives because their wives help build them up from the start. So they figure, you
Yeah,
know, let me get your phone. You know what I mean? I want to see your
yeah,
messages. You know what I mean? Make sure you
yeah.
come home tonight.
Nah, yeah, nah. They good. I'm good on that one.
Yeah. So check this out, man. We got this instrumental. It's called "Just Can't."
Yes.
Now who's on this track, or is it just an instrumental? Nobody's on it right now.
Yeah, so this track comes, it's the first song off my project, Beats in the Attic Volume 2, which is an instrumental series that I've done with samples from TrackLib. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to TrackLib. I did those samples so I could clear those samples. So Just Can is a chop that I did that I got. I forgot to do his name, but shout out to him. That song is actually pretty hot. And yeah, it's an instrumental joint. You know what I mean? Something to vibe out to.
All right. So how did you make this beat? Yeah, I mean, we know you're not using analog these days. You could, you know,
Yeah,
reel to reel, but that's a waste of
yeah,
time. You know what I mean? Are you jumping on the FL Studio? Now, I used to use Fruity Loops when it was called Fruity Loops.
right.
The first time I
Yeah,
saw that was 2.0 back in 98, right? So
right.
my man Adam, you know, he had it on his computer and I was
Hmm.
playing with it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm hearing
Right,
these instruments. I'm like, yo, I'm listening to hip hop when I was younger. I used to hear some of these
right,
instruments, but they
right.
take it from the actual machines, right?
Yes.
And then nowadays, I remember back then they were saying this is not a pro producer software, this and
Yep,
that, and a
yep.
looping. This is back in like 2000, 2001, 99.
Hmm.
It was a lot of
Yep,
the rock producers were saying this, right? The hip hop
right.
brothers, we loved it.
Yeah,
Look at today's time right now. The number one program to use would be FL Studio. And you got even some of the
exactly.
rock guys doing that because you can record now in FL
Yeah,
Studio. So they're recording
yeah,
their guitars and everything in there, right? So what did
yeah.
you produce for this track?
Yeah, so just going back to the FL Studio, yeah. So we was one of the trendsetters. We started at 1.5. My shout out to my man Ronald.
1.5, so that was 97. That was about
Yeah,
97, 90.
97. Yep,
And
yep.
The Pentium 2 was able to use that. But here's the thing
Right.
with me with with Fruity Loops is that
Mm-hmm.
I had the demo version and it would allow you to save the wave files. You couldn't just make a
Mm-hmm.
FL Studio project. So I
Right.
take the wave files, not MP3, wave files, and I move it to Cubase. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or I move
Yep.
it to
Use
Acid
Cubase
Pro
too.
or Acid
Yep.
Pro.
Acid Pro. Yep.
Acid
Yep.
Pro is the
Yep.
bomb, my G. Still
Yep.
to this
Yeah.
day. Still to
I
this
did
day.
my I did a lot of my recordings. My first recordings I did on Acid. Yep.
It just has a like nowadays all programs they sound the same to me, okay?
Right.
But back
Right.
then they had different sound engines. And I
Yeah,
found
they
that
did.
you know, Acid Pro when it moved to Sony, it just had
Right.
this loose sound. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was open, you could do whatever. I don't know. I just read
Yep.
these things, right? But
Nah, facts.
how did you make this beat? How did you make this beat? Real
Nah,
quick.
this one I made. I use machine, so I use
Machine.
machine for that. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
you use the drum machine sampler and you
Right.
pressed it out. Okay, okay.
Right. Yeah.
And what did you lace
Absolutely.
it out in? What did you lace it out in for us to hear
Um,
this now?
Yeah, yeah. So I just basically I did everything in machine. I could mix. I got all my Pro Tools, all of that. Everything goes through the machine. So the
Okay,
mixing, the
okay.
mastering, I did everything in machine.
Okay, and you just bounce it as MP3 when you're done, and that's it. Show's over.
Right,
Okay,
right.
cool, cool. All right, my bro. Well, thank you so much. I know you're on the highway. I know it's
Yes,
troubling
sir.
time. It's troubling times out there, man. My man Trump. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be parking too long. You know. You got to look like you're doing something. You have to look like you. Same thing up here. You heard what's going on up here with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
look like you're
yeah.
doing something now. You
You
can't just
got
hang
it.
around the streets no more. No way. You know what
Nah,
I'm
you
saying?
can't do that. They'll
No.
sweep you up, brother.
Oh yeah, of course. And it's like it's hard. It's easy to get it, hard to get out. 90
That's a
days
fact.
easily. 90 days easily for nothing. You know what I'm saying? All right, my
That's a
bro.
fact.
I'm gonna get you on Instagram. I'm gonna tag you when the show comes out. You know, trust
Yes,
me on
please.
that. And you go to my social media, you'll see all that. All right.
Absolutely, man. We're gonna definitely connect again, bro. I appreciate you.
All right, man. You know it's true, bro. You know,
Yes, sir.
get your car started.
Yeah, oh, I'm ready to go. Trust
All
me.
right. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Here's his track. We got this beat. Hold on. Let me get my phone open again. Anything else that we should know about you, real quick?
Hey, man, just holla at me, Chuck Platinum, man. Get to know me. You know what I'm saying? Super producer, DJ, everything, man. Once you get to know me, you're gonna love me, man. Real.
Those of you that are listening to this through audio or video, I want you to turn your TV up, turn your car system up, whatever. Because this one here is a beauty. All right, here we go. Bruh.